Hello and welcome to the inaugural Fools on a Hill podcast. I'm Cal and I'm joined by Yanni and Liam.
Hello.
Hello, boys.
I've just realised I've got a red mark on my neck.
It's
Oh
good to be
dear.
back. Great for all the
It is good to be
podcast
back.
listeners.
Huzzah.
Hello. You who
The
love being a listener
eagle-eyed
today.
and eared among you may realise this isn't the inaugural Fools on a Hill podcast. This is episode 100 odd. However, we have changed the way we do things. This has now become a monthly podcast where we all have different topics that we talk about whenever we fancy, wherever we
Indeed.
fancy, for happiness and ease, because that's been true this evening. So we thought it was only right that we'd start the first week a bit closer to home. Wouldn't you say, boys?
It
That's
could be
absolutely what I'd say.
So, after years of trying to get Liam to play bass in mine and Yanni's band, only to be met with numerous
so.
no's. Fuck off. I can't be arsed. I don't want to. Don't like you. I'm not
yeah.
doing it. Stop asking me.
Yeah.
Seriously, stop it. They decided to make their own band, so that makes me feel on top of the world. That band is called Dyserth, and I've been ever so kind and generous with my shares on Instagram.
You have.
And to be quite
You
honest, I am appalled. I'm not really. I don't give a shit. I am very happy that you have decided to release some songs. Would you like to tell me about one of them?
We would.
Well, that is the plan. Yeah.
That is the plan,
So-
so I'm glad that you agree. Dyserth,
Yeah, thanks.
take it away.
As of right now,
You're in a
There
Dyserth
are-
sandwich, by the way, Cal. You
Yeah,
are
you are.
currently in a Dyserth sandwich.
I am Melodon.
now
That's
that
how it
is
works.
a niche reference.
That's how it works.
As of right now, there are two songs that we have officially released. There's a demo, and there is The Light. And that is the debut single that we have chosen to release. We're going to be talking you through the sort of writing process of that, so we hope you're interested in that stuff. If not,
Mhm.
click off right now, because it's going to be boring as shit.
This may seem very
Marketing from Yanni there.
this may seem
if you-
very
that is
very
a-
wanky and very kind of self-important to be doing this, but you know, we like talking about music, so why not talk about our own? Because we can actually, for once, give some insightful fucking information
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
music.
Absolutely. And to be quite honest, we've got potential for a clickbait title here, so
Yeah.
let's hope it works.
With if there are any technical difficulties, apologies. We have done this very last minute.
We're on the
as
seat of
per
our pants here.
usual. So, The Light. How did this start off, Liam?
So this it's an interesting one. The different parts of this song started at very different times. So the
Sorry to interrupt you already,
Cool.
but I don't even know if maybe we should say. So we are releasing an EP, which is full of songs that we've had for a while.
yes,
I'm saying this because it does make sense.
It does.
Just bear with.
songs we've been
Those
working on
songs-
for years.
Yeah, for actual years that we've decided we're actually going
Years.
to put these out now. The Light was the last song to be recorded or
Written and
created.
recorded. The whole
written and recorded.
shebang. It's the shortest time frame between writing and recording, and it was the last one for both as well.
Yeah, and arguably the best, which is why we chose it as the first single.
We really peaked.
So
Very late.
Yes. So sorry, that's just a little bit of a backstory there. So go on, Liam.
Yeah, so saying that, the lyrics were written by myself, completely randomly, out of the blue. There was no music attached. There was nothing. It was more just something I kind of wanted to get off my mind one night. And I wrote the lyrics. This was, I'm going to say August 22, Yanni? Am I right in the
Wow.
years there? Does that sound about right? August 2022. We then recorded it in January 23. Is that about right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that's about right.
Yes.
The lyrics, so the original, the first line, "Don't worry, son, I'm holding the light," that came from a throwaway comment made by me on WhatsApp to, I think, just to Yanni. I don't know if it was in our group chat or not. Where I said, "Don't worry, son, I'm holding the light," and it was basically like, "Don't worry, I'm all right. You know, it's fine. We're all good. It's kind of what I was trying to say there. I instantly like the kind of poetry of those lines, and save them, which I do quite often. I surprise myself sometimes. Save them, and I thought that's cool. So then those lines came to me on that August evening, 2022.
You're really making this more wanky than it needs to be.
Sorry, I'm just
Honest to God,
trying to
Liam.
think. And I wrote the lyrics based on how I interpreted those first two lines and something that I felt like I needed to get off my chest. So that came about then, okay? The music side of it. Now, this is a bit more complicated. There's early demos I think Yanni may have.
Do
you know what? I have the original recordings. I should have sent those over.
Would have been good.
Recorded in the shed. Maybe I'll insert those, maybe not. But
he's not going to do that.
No. But years ago, say 2014, 15, probably sounds about right, Yanni? When we used to
before you would have gone away to Australia for about a week.
So it was college time. It may have actually been year 11 time. We were jamming in the shed at mine.
Yeah.
And there was this thing knocking about. It was around the time when Harrison was playing with us for a brief time, because the recording I have has Harrison playing on it. So there was a part that I'd come up with, which was knocking around for a long time. Would every so often play it over the years since 2014, 15, whenever it was. Might have been 2013. And then tried to use that.
We've tried to use that in so many different ideas.
Tried to use it a million times. And kind of tried to use it with this. Now, the day of the inception of this as a thing between Yanni and I is something I do not remember. However,
right, I remember that.
Okay,
so
but what I do remember is the doom, 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 that part is exactly the same as on the original version. So that has been pulled exactly the same, near enough, from the original version. The rest of it is in the similar kind of position on the fretboard, some similar notes, blah, 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 blah.
Punch that mic. So the inception of my introduction to it,
like when were you brought on the scene?
I remember being at your house, and it was one of those where we were sat on opposite sofas and we were just sort of playing things, and I remember doing the bit that I ended up doing for the main part of the song.
That part. Okay.
I remember doing that, but it was before I think you put the words to it, and there was no intro for it yet. From what I can remember, there was no intro part for it yet. It was just that verse, well, the whole body of the song besides the intro bit. And then I was like, okay, that sounds good. I've got my main part sorted.
Yeah. Can I jump in just to see if I'm right here? I then remember taking that away and coming up with my two chord part that I play for the whole rest of the song at home, and then linking the lyrics to it on my own.
Yes.
I kind of remember
because
that.
You sent that then to me, and I was like, this is backwards. Because my rundown part of the guitar, I don't even remember this, but I was like, why are you playing this the opposite way? Does that spark a memory?
Yes, and we were arguing about which chord it actually starts on.
And
now when I play it, I still get confused which chord. After the solo, which chord I come back on, because it's different to how I start. Yes, that's right.
So, and then you sent me you singing and playing guitar, which I think I might have on.
Was
here.
upsetting, I'm sure. Was deeply upsetting to hear.
And I instantly thought of the harmony parts for it, and sent you a recording back. So if everyone can see this, can we see this, boys?
We can see this. Sorry,
see
yes.
it, boys.
Can't hear it though.
You hear it now?
Yes.
Oh yes.
So obviously at this point, Liam's figured out there's an intro to it, but it's not what actually is the proper intro yet. It's just him playing those chords that have come from the jam with Harrison.
So is this the actual version I sent to you, like you were just saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so January, the end of January 23. So sorry, what does the very beginning of this sound like? Straight into the rundown.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything before that we worked out together, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or I think just randomly did when we were together. Oh,
Extended.
bit of a longer bit there.
Yeah, so I'll stop it
Lovely.
there.
Oh, painful.
I believe this other part will be my guitar part. Yeah.
It stayed pretty much exactly the same the whole way.
This
Right.
stays the whole way. That stays the same, yeah. And I think that this will be the backing vocals, which I think you probably see. There's probably one extra bit here that I've actually ended up adding in the recording, and then I think I say, "Don't worry, son." I do a higher part for that, don't I?
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, those main bits, and what was it? Sail away. What's the sail away? Before I sail away alone.
Oh, I said I'll cry goodbye in the docks.
No, but I sing the harmony on Before I Sail Away Alone, don't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember coming up with that and being like, well, that's my favourite part. So that was the first recording of that. Then there's a number 2 recording, which I haven't heard. So this might be, I think this was me trying to come up with something for your intro part. So again, first time I've heard this since it was actually recorded, which we can't hear.
This is the old. This is the original.
Oh, is that
This is the
full
shed. This is the 2014. That's it, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Go. Stop. Yeah, go. This is the same as the original version.
Yeah, this is now the.
This isn't it. This next bit.
Oh, right. So you hear this?
Yeah.
That will come back later, but just remember that line.
So the part it's currently on for my part is the part that's
Yeah.
in the end song.
Yeah.
Did it 3 times though, rather than 2. 4 times. That's when I must have found that chord.
Yeah, and then that
Gorgeous.
going back into it.
And then I assumed that that's pretty much the verse there is the same as it always was. I think I always sang it in exactly that way, didn't I? I know I've said to you before this, we don't really need to go into the vocals because they're just bad takes. But the actual melody didn't change. It's not.
Correct.
Yeah, so that whole intro, realistically, is the old, been around forever intro with no real changes. It's interesting.
Okay, and then I've obviously gone away and been like, what can I do? Because then there's some weird sounds that start happening. So this is obviously never used, but that's
nice. Why was that never used?
I don't know. That's my typical drum thing that I use. Quick guitar.
This is all your side,
together,
right, isn't it? It's got a very
Mumford and Sons.
No, I've always thought that this song, especially these parts, sounds like Me and Magdalena by the Monkees, and that sounds even more so like that song.
Well, I forgot about that, but I'm surprised you brought it up because.
Well, I'd forgotten about it until that sounds just like it. I don't think the end result really does, to be honest. But
no.
That definitely.
Yeah, because you were saying like when I did the harmony bit that there's like a harmony basically in that song that
maybe
it sounds like the same, and I'd never heard that song in my life.
So then we had those parts, and then at some point I'm assuming this is where we are now. We were jamming this. I feel like your house, and I just randomly came up with the intro part, at least the very intro. Dum bum bum dum. I'm sure that was just off the cuff. Now the rundown part, though, I don't know where that came from.
What rundown part? Sorry.
And then the bend.
Oh yeah, I don't know where that's
Into
come
the
from.
boom.
This is the.
This is all equal tempo.
Yes. So it's
which we
probably
need to talk about.
it's not in time with that. This is just you freestyling it, which is why everything's like off the grid. I think. Maybe I don't know.
I love that track there. Real fucking energy.
Where's that?
Can't wait to hear that.
Well, all this was. All that was muted and everything and hidden, so I don't know what that. Let's just listen to what this part was. Nice. Is this just you attempting to play this?
Sounds like chasing cars. That last bit did.
I think this part I also worked at. I came to you with that, I think. And I think I was using the old intro and then into that, maybe. And then I randomly played the very intro part and thought that worked better.
Right. So so if we ignore the hidden tracks, I think this obviously up here must have been like the us getting together and actually recording it together for the first time. Yeah.
What are you playing there, Jan? I can't hear your part there. Sounds like you're copying me. Oh, it's just
No, I'm
very
playing my
quiet.
part.
Yeah, it's just very hard to hear.
Right. So that was that bit, and then we
So
have
what-
heavy hit. What?
Yeah, I was going to say, because I kind of, at some point we're going to talk about the second half of the song, essentially. But I'm
Yeah.
interested to hear what we had where we now go to the solo.
So there was nothing. It was just
we had a
us
build
playing
up, did
it.
we? We wanted it to build up over that period.
Yeah.
Oh, you had this little filler guitar part.
You can hear that part coming back, like I said, and this part.
They stick around, don't they? Right, in the very, very quiet.
Yeah.
In the releasing it.
And I think we were like, it needs heavy guitars, and I think this is what this is. Horrifically loud.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
It's funny how we ended
that-
up doing not that.
Yeah, well, they're sort of there, but not to fucking that extreme a level. Yeah, so that was
So it was
the
a very
first time we
short
got
song
together and recorded
originally.
it.
That was the end.
Yeah, that was basically intro, verse, and then us just getting louder towards the end, and that's the song. And then I don't know who had the discussion or the idea, but we were like, we need this to be longer than it currently is. Probably
Yeah.
me, because I'm the one that always likes to have a song of a decent length.
Yeah. And I think you said to me, we need more lyrics. And I said, all right, for now, just put the same ones again. Well, I don't even know where that came from, but it was a temporary measure. Was use the lyrics again while
If in doubt, copy and paste.
While I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
of more, which I'll be honest, knowing me, I was probably never intending on doing.
No,
So
you definitely weren't
Aha.
intending.
once I'm done, I'm done. That was,
We've got
I'd
this.
written my story. Is this the done version now?
This is now the done version.
Okay,
You're
so
done now.
obviously, I guess we'll go through like kind of part by part on this. That's probably the most interesting part. But so at some point we had the lyrics looped again at the end.
Yeah.
And we kind of grew accustomed to that. At least I did anyway. Got very used to that being the case and liked it. And I, at home, kind of thought of some harmonies that I could add on top of that, as well as Yanni's harmonies. So that's why the second set of lyrics has an additional vocal part, which stands out a bit more in the mix than the original, which is harmonies, basically, which I very much like. And now when I sing it, I sing one and then the other. It feels much better. So that was actually quite a late addition, really, wasn't it?
The harmony vocal, yeah. That was
My
probably
harmony.
the last thing we actually did.
So
I
when
think.
did we add the solo? Which again was...
Very, very early on.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because to me, I remember that being a case of like, as usual, we're listening to the song and I'm playing along to it. One string wonder, everything on one string.
Absolutely.
You don't need to fuck about here. And kind of got
You
the
can tell
the slide part and worked
You
from
can
there.
tell it's a Liam solo because of the one string.
100%.
Um,
It was originally on two strings. I think it's actually recorded on two strings, but I play it now on one string.
Yeah. So, right. So going through it bit by bit. Cal, is this interesting to you at this point or not?
Yes.
Okay. So, somewhere along the way, I've figured out what I'm going to play during the intro. Because I don't think we actually discussed that. But I'm just doing very easy chords to complement Liam's thing.
Honestly, I don't know. Not that I'm against it. I don't know why we decided to do that. Was it just so you
because
were
I
playing
wanted to be
something?
included. Yes, probably.
Probably.
So
yeah.
this is it.
But
Can you hear that or not?
Can though, yeah.
Okay. I think at this point, Liam, it's probably best to tell everyone the traumatic experience of the changing tempo.
Oh yeah, great idea. So this is
So, as you probably realised throughout listening, if you've listened to the song, anyway, these parts, so this part is one tempo. This part is a completely separate tempo, but picks up, if you check the number at the top, picks up as it goes along until finally,
Oh, I forgot it
We're at
built.
the
Did we follow? Did we build up with it?
yes, we follow
That's
along
insane.
until a nice 119 is the tempo we've gone for.
I thought we had
that-
3 distinct tempos. I didn't realise the middle.
No. So
Oh,
this
it
is
makes no sense.
This is it now. It took us a while to establish how we were going to do that, but I think we knew pretty early on we wanted it to feel like different tempos.
Yeah.
Because it was weird if everything was just 119 the whole way through. So it was quite a nightmare trying to get you to record to the click track. I remember trying to get that down.
Thanks, mate.
It's all right. But eventually you did it. Well done.
Thanks.
As you can see, they're recorded separately. That's just because there's treatment on the guitars that are different. So everything at the very beginning is muffled. If you look at the EQ, rolling off a lot of the high stuff there.
Carl,
Then
don't worry.
there
I
is-
don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about either.
If anyone's interested in how I butchered the EQ, that is it. It doesn't make any sense, I'm sure. Then there's obviously the little dum dum.
But hang on. There are 2 parts to the intro for my part.
Okay, yeah.
They play different
Sorry, I
things.
forgot you also playing this. This recording was actually the last thing that was recorded. I told a lie.
Yeah, and it's true. And I realised I could play it better with my thumb. There's a great recording of me going, "Who'd have known? All I had to do was thumb it."
Why
That was a bit-
isn't that played at the end of the song?
Yeah,
What?
that could have been a good idea. Me saying
That would
about
have been.
thumbing. I think
yeah.
I used an expletive as part of that, so maybe it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. But these are the 2 parts. They are the same. Well, they're meant to be the same, but as is a Liam standard, never plays the same thing twice. So you get 2 different takes.
Completely unable to do so.
Yeah. So that was
Yeah,
Liam's intro.
I don't know
part.
how I did. I can never replicate the other slides part. I don't know how I
No.
did it. I don't know what I changed about it, but the fact they sound different is cool. I guess there's slightly different tones as well. Oh, are they doing 2 different guitars, possibly?
Yeah, so the problem was so anything that was Liam's guitar was recorded on my. Can you see? You can see me, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was recorded on this bad boy.
Yeah. Good old Squire Strat. With fucking the worst wiring on the planet.
and my stuff was recorded on this.
Nice Gibson standard.
I can't remember what it's fucking called. Anyway. And the wiring on that Strat is abysmal. And so there was a lot of popping going on and a lot of like fizzing noises.
Crackling.
And it was driving me insane. And that was like that for the longest of times until I put my foot down and said, you need to re-record this. We tried it again on the Strat and it wasn't working. So the left channel is actually the Gibson, but the right channel is still the Strat. That's what it was. Luckily, there just wasn't any popping on that take. But
the problem
speaking
with
of
sorry,
popping-
just to say, the problem with me playing on the Gibson is I just find it very hard to play on for some reason. It's the strings are just slippery, and I just couldn't not. But every time I play it, I bend the strings so much. I'm such a heavy-handed player. It just
Tell
doesn't
me
work
about
out.
Anyway, so you might hear that there's some popping and scratching in the left channel or Liam's guitar because that was the original Strat recording. But we decided we weren't going to drive ourselves insane trying to re-record all of that, so we just thought we'd leave it. You've all heard that a million times now. And then
Yeah,
there was
I'm
this
sick of hearing it.
nice little part that when we were jamming it out, you were doing the harmonics,
Mhm.
but I wanted both our guitars to continue playing.
Mhm.
Producer cap on for a second. So we did it where you didn't do the harmonics on your recording take, and I said record the harmonies separately. And so we did this. And if that translates in the audio for you, it's obviously panning left to right.
Which it was absolutely the right choice because there's like a catch I do on the chords that wouldn't have been possible, and it
Yeah.
really works well. It was right choice to make those 2 separate parts for Defo.
Thank you. Right.
Just before we
Sure,
move
sure,
on,
sure.
Harm Git, which is what that track was called, is a perfect name for an Idol song.
It really
You're
is.
so
you're
right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
At that point, I think I don't know what order of things were done, but I know at some point then I would have done the drums separately, so I probably did a drum track originally and my guitar part initially, just so that when we came to record everything, it was there.
The only thing we then at some point went through the drums, and I did.
I know. I'll get onto that. I'll
Oh,
get to
sorry.
that, mate. Fucking hell.
I don't know what you're going to talk about. I'm excited.
Well, just bear with. So then Liam would have left, and I'd been like, time for me to experiment with everything that we could possibly do.
Time to ruin it.
Shut your mouth. So it needed bass because there wasn't any bass, and I thought it needed something dirty. So I was messing around with my bass, with my pedals, I had distortion on, all sorts of stuff. You can probably see on here, plugins, decapitator, like distort stuff, so it's all fuzzy. I established that it sounded nice when there was a bass recording of my fuzz pedal, the Big Muff, and a bass recording separately of the distortion rat pedal. So this bass is the rat pedal, and the fuzz bass is the fuzz, so the Big Muff. I think I may have done a little bit of jamming on like the distorted bass, not to the extent that's what recorded on here, because obviously Liam recorded the bass himself after this. Thanks, just Cypher us.
If you want to do it
really,
properly, do it
encouraging.
yourself.
But the idea was that the fuzz bass, I told him, I was wrangling him in. I said, just keep that as the notes of the chords. So
Which I didn't.
Sorry,
I
this-
didn't even do that. I don't think.
you did for the most part. So
yeah.
apologies if this sounds horrific, but you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. without any plugins, let's do this.
So that's from the pedal.
Sounds like arse. That is the big muff, yeah. And that was just the bass notes playing, and that is providing all the low end of the bass essentially, because that's just going to be the two notes going back and forth, which I believe are just C and G for the whole song. And then the distorted bass is the one that there's a bit more freedom involved. Like I said, I'd already recorded these two things, but then obviously Liam would record them again, so he basically then had to do a copy of this himself. So there's this, which starts off very simple. A little bit of variation there.
All the variation is me, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then towards the end...
Sorry, the way
I'll
you were
just stick
saying it,
to
I thought you were saying I re-recorded your part, but that's not the case, is it?
No, I just got the idea.
I'm just checking my own memory because I feel like you're gaslighting
I was just saying
everything.
that it should be... you didn't do anything on the song, Liam. That there should be two recordings, basically, and one
Right.
bass should do something slightly different.
Yeah.
He starts doing all of that stuff.
I
And
did all that, I
combined-
feel, without any of the other parts playing. Am I right in saying that?
Possibly, because there is a point that goes out of time, and it's not
like-
not apparent on the song. But if you solo everything, like just the bass and the drums, it's very clear.
The reason I say that, though, is
Yeah.
because like I played all those kind of variations with no context of where they would land, and Yanni hated it at first. He was like, it's too much, like, it doesn't fit, blah, blah, blah. And then somehow, once you put everything back on top of it, it, like, elevated certain parts completely unintentionally. Like, I'm not going to claim that I was some sort of fucking omnipotent being that knew when it was going to land. I was just playing. I think I actually recorded that as a kind of, like, I'm just going to get this down. I'm going to play a few different bits. We'll see which bits work. And it just turned out that how I did it was...
I feel like this is a
Right.
one-take wonder situation.
It really was,
For
yeah.
like both of them, because I don't remember touching these again since they recorded. The only thing I did was I cut out the bass here so that it stopped. That way it had a bit more of an impact when it came back in. So obviously, you see at the end of the main song, end of the lyrics, I cut the fuzz bass and it's just the distorted bass playing for a bit. I stop it there and it kicks back in. Originally that went out for a bit longer, and I think may have even ended on a bit of a weird note.
Where is that? Because I don't even remember where that stops.
You do all that noise, and I was like, get rid of that shit.
Within
And
the
then-
context of the song, John, where is that?
That is during the solo.
Like midway through the solo.
Yeah, midway through.
Can we hear
and
it?
then
Sorry.
absolutely not, no.
I've never noticed the cuts out there. That's a good choice. Well done. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, that's the bass. Fucking hell, really dragging this out, Liam. And I also Skype message. Thanks. Next up, I put down the extra guitar parts. Wireless mouse is running out of charge. That's really good to know. I recorded all the extra guitar parts. The bits that you've heard before come back in full swing. So we've got the... That's just playing on loop, and as is. And then the heavy guitars did make a return. Doth returneth. Really, really loud and nice. Just doing really simple chords. We actually each recorded the heavy guitars separately, I feel like. I can't remember which one's which, but
I was
going
going to say, I feel like I remember doing that. Yeah. I'm not going to claim complete control over that, but maybe we did one each.
We did. And then... Yeah, and then I added a flute thing for some reason. I'm surprised this stayed in, to be honest with you. But it's nice and is not harming the track in any way. This is the flute section. with the guitars.
And then the bit everyone's been waiting for.
And then it hits into the heavy part. Liam did the solo bit. This is the one slide guitar solo if everyone's interested. I'm sure they're dying.
Not very in time. Full of feeling though, you know?
Definitely. The feeling.
Full of emotion. And it's a harmonic at the end.
And then yeah, he did the well, originally he didn't. And then I was like, that should be a harmonic. And then I decided that should be reversed as well, going into the outro to make it
like a build up and then
there you go. So that goes into the outro part. And then at some point because I like adding acoustics to things, did that sound right? It sounded wrong in my head. Acoustics to things. Anyway, I recorded acoustic guitars. So there's my one. Which I think is literally just me playing C and G with maybe a Kappa one, so it may have been A and E or whatever it is with the Kappa one. And then I asked you for the tuning, Liam, and I recorded your acoustic part.
Because mine's tuned down C, G.
So that's combined.
Don't think you could hear my part. Oh, yeah, the Liam part.
That's the acoustics there. I just thought it needed something else, and acoustics are nice. So I did the two acoustics. Then we have the drums. So the drums were pretty much as they are, except for the little accents and the intro going into the song. So this is how it goes into it. So those little hi-hat accents are the key things you want to be listening out for. We went through, and Liam, in his infinite wisdom, knew where the open hi-hats should be. I was not able to translate that from when he was sat next to me going, that's so
exactly
our ingenious way of doing this was I got my mic out, got him to record the actual noise when he was doing it, and then when he left, I just literally put that underneath the track and added in the hi-hats.
Did you keep that track by?
I don't think I have that anymore. I deleted that. Yeah, it's not there. Although there is old tracks here. What the hell's all that? I'll have to find out that in a sec. Anyway, yeah, there's yeah, it's not there.
Be in the drums with it, not?
No, it's not there.
Oh, look at the top track.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Caught in the track.
No, it's not that. It's not. I'll count on a minute. Anyway, caught in the track. So that's the drums. You might be wondering, why is it not real drums? Because we're not rich. All right, we don't have access to real drums, so you get in MIDI for now. And that is basically the song done. The lyrics repeated. Vocals here. I don't know how much Liam really wants me to go over this.
Go for it.
So there's a main vocal part, which is.
Don't worry, son.
I'll play it with something a bit nicer.
I am held in the light.
Yeah, so there's this main part. And then we recorded extra parts because we weren't really sure how to project your voice in the song, I remember. where there
Mhm.
was a part where it was quite soft, and then there was a bit more oomph behind it. So these are like just blown out, distorted ones because I felt like it needed more energy.
Don't worry, son. I am held in the light.
There you go.
That's weird.
Really distorted in the channel. There was from day one, but I don't know if I've still got it. There we go. Here it is. A low pitched high voc where you sang an octave lower, and I have a plugin, the Little Altar Boy it's called. This one was a mess around, so it's gonna probably sound really auto-tuned because we were just working it out. But this is
Don't worry, son. I am held in the light.
Is this
okay,
not me
but
singing
without-
high and then pitch down?
no, you're singing low and I'm pitching it high. So this
Oh,
is
God.
without the effect.
Don't worry, son.
Regardless of that.
I am held in the light.
Okay, that's what that was.
Dulcet tones.
That was in there for ages until like I was mixing it and I was like, that doesn't need to be there anymore. I muted it, thankfully, and that was never seen ever again.
And one day I was
until
showing
then-
Lydia all this, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this track, by the way, this singing is low." And then I'd mentioned it to Yanni. He's like, "No, it's not. That's just you singing." I was like, "Okay, fair enough."
I don't know what this is. Sorry, I'm just gonna find out what this is. Oh, cool. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
It's just the picky bits, isn't it, on guitar, but for some reason on a church organ.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that's that, really. There was a little mess around that we did because we were silly one night and we made a courting version of the track, essentially, is what we called it. So prepare for this to be excessively loud, I imagine.
You turn the weird on.
That's just a transition into it.
Oh. I still think we should use this somewhere.
It should be the B-side. Sod the demo version.
Anyway, so that's that. That has been a breakdown of the project for the light. It took a
Yes.
while to mix and everything, and we weren't happy for a while with the mix because we don't know what we're doing. So it's just working out as we go along. Any questions there, Carl?
Well, you mentioned that an EP is coming. When? What's it called? What is it featuring?
So the EP is called, I'll answer that in the order of ease. It's called Dripping, has been since day one. It features The Light. Other songs on it are what, Liam?
Well, I guess this is an exclusive, isn't it? You've got the 83, it's the first track. Farouche. There's an instrumental called End. There is The Light, To the Top, and Gold.
My
Six-
personal favourite.
6
Yeah,
tracks.
Gold
Oh,
slaps.
okay.
And that will be coming out soon.
Yeah, we need to discuss that really. Yeah.
Is all we can really say for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hopefully not too.
But if you're watching this and you haven't checked out the song, do so. I'm sure Liam will link it. There's also a music video for it. Well, I say music video. It's essentially a lyric video, but we
A
didn't want
I'll
visualizer.
link to that
to- Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. But that was breakdown of that very briefly. We went to Crosby Beach.
Briefly.
I stood,
Oh.
I stood on a sand dune while Liam walked Mango, and I was freezing my balls off, having to stabilise the tripod in
It was a
the
very windy day.
blistering wind
It's
blistering
very
wind.
windy.
with my old camcorder, which I'm not gonna get it, can't be asked, but it's an old camera. And then we edited it a bit, but essentially how it looks is how it looked on the day. So yeah.
We did a bit of rewind, trickery.
Yeah, I was
and
going to say,
whatever.
was it in reverse, Yanni?
Oh yeah, everyone walked backwards for some reason.
Very handy.
yeah.
But yeah, so listen to the song. It'll be linked below. I look forward to hearing the rest of the EP on Spotify rather than in my local files.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else
If
you
you
want to
really
say?
want
or-
if you really want an exclusive, we're working on something a lot bigger and a lot better, but that won't be seen for some time.
It's
I
a little
imagine.
way out. Little way out.
8 more years.
Thanks for indulging us, Carl. Appreciate it, and everyone else listening. It's quite fun talking about your own shit. So, cheers.
Thanks.
Like, subscribe, and listen to Dyserth.
Yes.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.